All right. Good evening, everybody. I am Alysun Caldwell. I'm a Ruby ambassador with Plexus Worldwide, and we are really, really excited to share some information with you guys tonight. We've got some amazing products, an amazing opportunity, and I've got my friends Victoria Olsen and Jennifer Teal here with me, and we're going to just share a little bit with you, kind of one at a time. So whoever invited you to be on this call really cares about you a lot, and that's why you're here. So we thank you for being here. We're excited about it. A little bit of housekeeping first before we get into too much. Basically, these stories that we're talking about are not from Plexus Corporate. We are independent ambassadors. These are our stories individually. Results vary, obviously, with different people. Different bodies react differently. So Plexus doesn't claim to cure, diagnose, treat any diseases at all. So you just got to get that out of the way. So we're checking all the boxes. But first off, I just wanted to introduce Victoria and let her tell you guys a little bit about her story and how she got started. And we will go from there. So go ahead, Tori.
Hi guys, I am Victoria Olsen. I am also a Ruby ambassador with Plexus Worldwide. I got started about 2 years ago when my good friend who was stationed in Italy with me started talking to me about the products. Initially, we had connected over, our love of all things natural and crunchy and all that stuff. We had very similar stories. I was having severe digestion issues. I really couldn't eat a lot of foods. I actually avoided eating most days because it was better to feel hungry than to feel the way I felt after I ate. I was miserable. And so I had been eating paleo. I had been eating all natural, and that had helped a little bit. But I was still having a lot of issues with a lot of certain foods. I was still really, really anxious all the time. I had just had a big move. It was my first move. I'm originally from Omaha, Nebraska. My husband is in the Air Force, so we are active duty family. We move around, and the culture shock was really, really real for me. So on top of my, my eating issues and my anxiety and the culture shock, I found myself in a very dark place. I had actually just had my third miscarriage, and I'm still in my 20s. I take very good care of myself, and I felt like I was doing everything right. So when I was asking the doctors if they could run tests and they were telling me that I hadn't had enough losses yet, I was angry. And I decided to take action myself and to see what I could do to heal my body. And so I had tried other supplements, other probiotics, other vitamins, and nothing helped. So when Randy talked to me about Plexus, you're going to hear my baby crying, Mama 4. So when Randy talked to me about Plexus, I knew I trusted her, but I was still hesitant. I was pretty early into my pregnancy, and I told her, if I can get off this progesterone in my first trimester, I will go ahead and give these products a try. So come my second trimester, it was right around Thanksgiving. I had just eaten a bag of Sour Patch Kids. My mouth was raw, and I was like, Randy, you said this helps with blood sugar too, girl, sign me up. And so I got signed up right away. I was not looking for a business opportunity. I was not looking to make a paycheck. I just wanted to feel better. And Plexus did just that. I was sleeping better. My anxiety, I wasn't pulling off onto the side of the road, literally physically getting ill. I was able to sleep without waking up with a racing heart. I was able to pour back into my kids, and I felt like me again. After so long of not feeling like myself, to feel like myself again is absolutely priceless. So fast forward into that, I decided that I wanted to share these products. I knew that if I, was able to educate myself and find stuff that works, and there were other people out there that needed that too. Facebook is a highlight reel of things that are all going right and beautiful pictures and happy memories. And a lot of times people don't reach out and say, I'm feeling terrible inside. I'm suffering in this sort of way. And so, as scary as it was to reach out, I decided to put myself out there. And it has rewarded me tenfold. The friendships that I have had from, moving back overseas, the support I get from these women is amazing. I didn't have to look for a job. I didn't have to worry about daycare. I got off that plane for moving back overseas disease the month before. I didn't have to prove my worth again. I didn't have to stress out. I was able to do what I love to do and make an income and feel better. And to me, that's everything in the world to me. I'm going to hand it off to Jenny, and I can't wait for you guys to hear what she has to say.
Hi everybody, I am Jennifer Teal and I'm also a Ruby ambassador with Plexus. And I'm not a military spouse, but I live in Michigan, and I never really realized just how bad I felt until I started feeling better. So going backwards a little bit, almost 2 years ago this April is when I started with Plexus, and it was on a 7-day trial. They had, $19.99. Let's see what you can do after 7 days and see how you feel. So my girlfriend, Lisa Hudson, she's like, let's try this. Okay. So she was already doing it. I jumped on board, I've tried everything. And I was like, oh, wow. After 7 days, I had a little more energy, and I jumped on right away. I don't even think there were any specials. I just signed up as an ambassador, not looking to sell, because I can't win when I try to sell anything. I tried the candles, I've tried jewelry, and I'm just not a very good salesperson. So I just went ahead. I wanted the cheapest prices, and my husband also started the Slim, and he lost like 13 pounds right away, because that's how men do it. And so for me, it really wasn't the weight right away. I was finding I had more energy. I have low thyroid, and I have been on medication now for 17 years. I found out I had low thyroid when I was trying to get pregnant. I couldn't get pregnant. It took 2 years to get pregnant. Didn't realize it was because I had low thyroid. It's crazy what that your thyroid will do to you. So got on medication, and I had felt terrible up until I got onto the medication. I gained a ton of weight. I was sleepy all the time. I just felt like I had the flu. And then I got on the medication and I felt better. So I had 2 kids within 2 years. And, I thought I felt okay throughout those years, because, you have little kids. I worked a full-time 40-hour-a-week job, and coming home to the kids, it's just your typical, everybody else, just you're tired. But then when Lisa started me on this Plexus, and I really started feeling good, my acid reflux was disappearing, which I had since I was pregnant. He gave me really bad reflux, and it never went away. And I was like, wow, I haven't taken Tums today. I haven't had a Zantac today. What's going on? It was the pink drink and the BioCleanse and the ProBio 5, and my leg pain at nighttime I noticed was gone. I would go to bed at night and not be able to go to sleep because the pain from my knees to my ankles would just ache. Why? I'm not a runner. I'm not a big exercise person. Why do my legs ache? I don't know. Inflammation. So my son had left for his Washington, D.C. trip for 8th grade the week before, I think, I started Plexus. So I'd taken a picture with him at school while he was leaving to get on the bus. And then 1 year later, after I'd been on Plexus for a year, I'd gone to a wedding, and somebody took my picture from the wedding. And it was one of those things where the memory popped up on Facebook from the 8th grade trip versus a year later on Plexus. And again, not a huge difference in weight, but oh my gosh, my face was huge. Like I could barely see my eyes. Just the inflammation, I couldn't even believe it. So if anybody ever wants to see those 2 pictures, let me know and I'll send them to you so you can have them as a comparison, because I don't have a small face. I have a pretty round face and pretty large head, but it's a huge difference in a year. And I will always take these products. I don't care if nobody ever wants to buy them from me again. I'm a huge fan of them, and it has helped my son, my 13-year-old son, with his dandruff. Tell him I told you. And his eczema. He's never really been diagnosed with eczema, but he's always, since a baby, had itchy, peely skin, peely feet. He is now 13, but he still gets dry patches. And taking the ProBio 5 at nighttime for him, no more dandruff. We don't have to put the stinky tea tree oil in the shampoo anymore. It's all in the gut. So there's just been so many benefits. And sorry, I gotta back up a little bit. And I'm going to the bathroom. I never knew you were supposed to go every single day. And I was like, oh, I'm going twice a week. Woo! No, it should be every day, if not twice a day, which I'm doing now. So that's another huge plus. Another reason why I will always take these products, and I will tell everybody about these products, and because it's huge. When you can't go to the bathroom, it affects so much, and you just feel like crap. So I'm the poop teller. I don't mind talking about poop because everybody's got to do it. So, and I have heard too that some people that don't have that issue, because not everybody has that issue, the triplex can also help kind of reverse that. So you're not going 6 times a day. So it's, to me, very beneficial. And that's exactly what I take the triplex, the pink drink, the Bio Cleanse and ProBio 5, along with X Factor Plus, which I believe all of those combined has kept me healthy. Because again, I live in Michigan, it's cold weather. I have 2 teenage kids that play a ton of sports, and we're always out and about and touching things that other people touch. And I'm not a germaphobe by any stretch of the imagination, but still. And we've really, knock on wood, have stayed very healthy this past year. So I think that Plexus has a lot to do with it. So that's about, oh, and I take Omega X if anybody cares, but that's at nighttime with ProBio 5. It's great for your heart. It's got all your omegas that you need. So I'll let Alysun talk a little bit more about that. So thanks for listening to my story. You're up, Alysun.
Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate that. I don't think I knew all the details of your story. Very cool. Yeah, a little bit just basics on triplex if you're not familiar. Like you said, the slim balances your blood sugars. It's great for cholesterol, heart health, all sorts of things like that. It is fabulous for helping you keep your energy throughout the day, sleeping through the night. It was originally developed by an endocrinologist for type 2 diabetes. And the Bio Cleanse is basically the magnesium supplement. So don't let the cleanse fool you. It's not like that kind of cleanse. But it does regulate things in there. It oxygenates your body, and it kind of cleans out everything that is left over in your gut so that you just have a constant, gentle cleansing going. The ProBio is literally one of my favorite products. It is a yeast-killing probiotic. So, and I have a whole nother video on the details of it, but just the basics on that is just that it breaks through the biofilm, which is basically a protective covering on candida in your body. And then it has natural antifungals to kill it, as well as good probiotics for you. So that is actually what got me interested in Plexus in the first place, because I come from a background of gut health, which not a lot of people come from. Most of my friends thought I was crazy. Most of the doctors that we've seen, pediatricians and stuff over the years, thought I was crazy. My youngest son, I have 3 kids. Right now they're 18, 15, and 11. And my 11-year-old was diagnosed just after his 3rd birthday on the autism spectrum. And we launched into this huge healing journey, gut health and supplementation and diet change and ABA, and we did all sorts of stuff. Treating candida yeast was one of the biggest and best things that we did for him, in conjunction with diet change to stop feeding the yeast. So we had years of this. I knew what that entailed. I had been on that journey. I knew all the supplements. I was so familiar with it through working with his doctor over all this time. And it kind of personally with me, I knew I was telling other people they had yeast. And I'm like, you need to go address this. You have candida, go online, look for these supplements. But I didn't have anything good to tell them about. I didn't have one specific product where I could say, this is what you need. And I didn't know it was even out there, to be perfectly honest with you. A little bit of background on myself personally. I had spent 17 years on Zyrtec every single day. If I did not take it by day 3, I had hives, it would randomly roam around my body. It would come up maybe on my elbow or maybe on my scalp, and it would just move, and it would itch so bad that sometimes I would scratch to where I bled. It was quite painful, and I very, very rarely ran out of Zyrtec because of that. I had very bad sinus issues, really, really bad allergies. I had sinus surgery in 2012, and I still had to take Zyrtec. I had to take my Flonase, and I had to take very strong allergy eye drops to be able to wear my contacts. So I'd already kind of struggled with that. I was with Jennifer. I wasn't going every day. I thought a couple times a week was normal, and didn't realize that was not a good thing. Even though I knew all about, Candida stuff, I didn't realize that the frequency for me, like I just thought that was me. So fast forward, a handful of years there, we were living in Arizona, and I started running after I lost my dad to cancer, and we had learned a lot about toxicity and stuff in the body and wanting to have an oxygenated environment. Like, we'd done some research and stuff when he was sick. And after he was gone, I started running because I was like, I need to do something because I'm just sad and I need to get out and get moving. And so I found a group of friends. It was amazing. We ran together. They were wonderful. And I lost some weight. I cut out gluten. I was feeling better, but I was still tired. And I was like, I should be feeling better. So I went to the doctor and I said, what's going on here? Check my thyroid, check my hormones, something's out of whack. And they said, well, you're in perimenopause. And I went, what? I'm too young for that. But I was in perimenopause, and that was almost 2 years ago this spring. And they said, your hormones are out of balance. You have very high estrogen, but it's not out of balance enough that I would normally give you any medication. But I was having prolapse problems after having children. And so he said, I'll give you a little bit of progesterone. We'll just do the cream so you can get off of the pill. I didn't want to keep ingesting hormones. I was like, I've tried to get off of the Zyrtec. I've tried to get off all the stuff, and I never could. So he said, I'll just give you the cream. You can get off of the pills. And I said, okay, well, I guess it's less invasive. At that point, I was running a lot. I was working out. If I missed a couple in a week, I would like literally watch the muscle fade away on my legs. And I thought, that's awfully fast. I was falling asleep in the evenings at 7:00 when friends were over. I mean, literally just sitting there like this. I physically could not hold my eyes open. I tried cutting out all gluten, and I felt a little bit better. I cut out all coffee because I read it cross-reacted with gluten. Y'all, for me to cut out coffee cold turkey, I was desperate. I was desperate because I love coffee, and I was having a couple cups a day just trying to get through. And then by 7, all of it was gone. I knew I couldn't have another one. I would just fall out. So I was not doing well. I knew I had candida issues. We had even tried specific carbohydrate diet to treat it. None of it was working. So we moved to Alabama to go to school. My husband's in the Marine Corps, and I started a run group there for the people that were in that specific area. And Randy came to run group, and we were talking a little bit, and I told her, a little bit of that history. And she said, you'd love my supplements. And I said, no, I wouldn't. Nope. I've worked with doctors. I know what the good supplements are. That's a network marketing company, and that's not going to have anything worthwhile. And she kind of kept asking. And I finally agreed to look at the labels because I was super skeptical. I didn't want to hear anything about it. I agreed to look at the labels, and I brought them to my holistic doctor. And I said, my friend wants me to take these, and I think they're junk, and I need you to tell me how to tell her no, because I've run out of options. I don't know how to tell her no anymore. And he was like, they're good, take them. And I was like, oh. So I brought them home, and I was like, all right, I'll take them. I tried one ProBio, and I felt different. I knew that it was working. And I was like, oh my gosh, I thought everybody needs this. So hang on a second. Let me just make sure I've gotten everybody. I don't know. We're getting some feedback on there somehow. Anyway, I hope y'all can still hear me. Anyway, so I knew I liked it. I knew I wanted to be part of this. I wanted the products. I wasn't really sure about it because I'd tried other stuff, but I also was on a fixed budget because we had so many expenses built up with healing my son that I didn't have room in the budget for this. And I wanted it for the whole family because I knew we needed it. My husband's had his gallbladder out. My daughter was dealing with anxiety and depression and migraines. And my other daughter was dealing with reflux disease. Like, we were having issues. So I knew everybody needed it. And I said, is it expensive? And I know y'all are probably thinking the same thing, but we all have our vices, right? I was drinking my coffee like crazy. If I didn't have coffee, I was drinking energy drinks. I was spending probably $60-ish a month, sometimes a little bit more, on copays for my prescriptions that I was taking. I had a gym membership at one point where I wasn't really going. Like, do you have a gym membership and you're just too tired to go? Like, that's not helping. And I wasn't cooking. I was throwing away healthy foods. I was buying things and just food was going to waste because I didn't have the energy to cook. I couldn't get up to cook and I was so tired all the time. So I was like, well, we'll figure out how to make it work. But I wanted to know, just like you did, is this going to work for me? Obviously, I've tried everything. I was eating organic. I was eating very, very clean, paleo, really good quality carbs to support my running. But nothing had worked for me yet. So I was very, very skeptical that the whole system was going to work. In fact, I told her I wasn't going to try Slim because I didn't need to lose any weight. You live and learn. So if, I knew though that if I tried this stuff that I had 60 days to try it and get my money back if it didn't work. But I was pretty sure the probiotics were good. The rest of it I was still a little iffy on. I did end up trying the Slim finally. And I was shocked that immediately I did not have to go lie down at 3:00 in the afternoon. So that was really great. And I knew that this was something that a lot of people that I knew could benefit from. The other two questions that I was already familiar with, one of them that I wanted to address, the FDA approved. A lot of people ask, are these products FDA approved? Well, I'm sure most of you have probably taken a vitamin. None of them are FDA approved. So cat's out of the bag. The FDA does not approve, but it also does not disapprove any supplements. It just doesn't. The other question is it safe? That was a big one for me, dealing with everything with my son. He has a really hard time processing toxins. Learning what I had, my dad's struggle. I needed to know that it was safe. I needed to know that I wasn't putting dangerous things into my body, that I wasn't putting in fillers and chemicals and things like sucralose that I knew were bad for me. So this was really, really, really important. And, I'm sure you're thinking the same thing. Well, what about my meds? Talk to your doctor. Take the ingredient list to your doctor and say, listen, this is what I want to do. And there are very, very, very few times where you can't take this. So those kind of questions set me at ease. I was like, okay, then, now I think I kind of want to get involved. But when I asked her about ordering the whole thing, first thought is, well, holy cow, it's expensive, right? A lot of these, I've been with other companies. I've done multiple different direct sales and stuff like that, companies, and the buy-in was anywhere from a couple $100 to a couple thousand, right? So this, thankfully, if everybody could mute, I'm getting some bad feedback. Can you double check your phones really quick for me? Wait, I think I found one. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I couldn't find it before. Okay, so I wanted to be involved in the business side of things, but I was worried about the expense of it because my husband was like, we're not spending a lot of money for you to get involved in this. And I was really, really surprised that it was $34.95 for the whole year. There are no other fees. I've had a lot of people ask me that since then, like, but there's other fees, right? Every month. I'm like, nope, $34.95 for an entire year. That's it. So I was like, okay, that's awesome. But I really didn't want to be the one selling stuff to my friends. And I know a lot of people feel that way. A lot of people I hear all the time, I'm just not a salesperson. But when you think about it, last time you went out and had a really, really good meal somewhere, what did you do? The first person you talked to, your best friend, your mom, whoever, you were like, oh my gosh, I went out to my favorite restaurant last night and let me tell you about this meal I had. It was amazing. You got to go try it. Done. That's what we do. That's what this business entails. We share what we love with other people. It's as simple as that. And if you've tried other things like I have, other companies, and you think, well, why is Plexus different? Because, I didn't make any money in those other companies. I spent far more than I ever made. And it just never worked out. So this is different because Plexus has huge growth right now. We are at the forefront of all scientific research as far as gut health is going. I mean, Plexus is way ahead of the game. So it is growing. These products are for everybody. It's not specific to any particular person. Everybody has a gut. We're all digesting things. We all need blood sugar balance. And to be perfectly honest, when I looked at the comp plan, this is the best one out there, hands down. We get paid 11 different ways. And when you become part of Plexus, you get paid on your own products. You can earn commission on your own products, which is just fabulous. So those are some of the things that really, really excited me about this company. So I just want you to stop and think to yourself for a minute, who do I know that could benefit from these products? Who do I know that needs better sleep, that needs a little bit more energy, that maybe struggles with digestive issues or skin issues like psoriasis or eczema or, hive things like I had, maybe who struggles with autoimmune issues, migraines, hormone imbalances. There are so many things that these products can help with. And, basically just people that need a healthy overhaul. I was very fit. I was very, very healthy. And I had no idea I could feel this good. I really thought that somebody flipped that switch at 40 and it was just going to suck from here on out. And I'm so glad that I took a chance on this because I feel better now than I did in my 20s. So it has been a huge blessing as far as the products, and the business has been an even bigger blessing because I didn't know that there was something out there like this that really and truly was changing people's lives from a product perspective, from a business perspective. Mamas are staying home with their babies. They're raising their families. People are paying down debt. People are making mortgage payments with this. I mean, there's extra money every month. Who do you know that could benefit from that? So a lot of people wonder, well, what if this doesn't work? Well, what if these products don't work for me? What if this business doesn't work for me? But I want you to turn that around and say, what if it does? Because what if this is exactly what you didn't know you were looking for in the first place? Because it was for me. It's changed everything for those of us who shared tonight, for myself, for Victoria, for Jennifer. It has changed everything for us. And we are just so very grateful for that and for the friendships that this business has brought to us. So it's just been an amazing experience overall. And we invite you to just get back with the person who invited you to this. They thought of you. That's why you're here, because they thought of you and they care about you. So get back with them, tell them what you thought about it, what you love most. And just thank you so much for taking the time to join us tonight on this call. Thank you to Victoria and to Jennifer for sharing with us. I appreciate y'all very much. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording and then we'll answer any questions you guys have. Thank you so much.